Good afternoon and welcome to episode 45 of Swiss Army Sports. Today is February 23rd in the Big 26. I'm your host, Will Spain, former longstopper for the Troy Trojans, Osby Governors, and partially Houston Cougars. Joined by my side, former offensive lineman for the Andrew College Warriors, current man of electricity, Luke Wallman, and joining us virtually from Houston, Texas, former kicker for the Houston Christian Huskies and Troy Trojans, current nephew of Troy men's basketball coach Scott Cross. Chase Cross, welcome back, everybody. I don't know about y'all, but I'm feeling a little golden today on a Monday after the Olympics. We'll get into that. We got I'm sure plenty. Everybody's got a lot to say, I'm sure. Let's
Gone too
just
soon.
let's just talk about the agenda real quick. We're gonna do our picks recap from the 20th to the 22nd. Big winners and losers from last week in college basketball, along with our new bracketology and our Swiss Army Sports college basketball top 25. Winter Olympic hockey recap, and then the Winter Olympics as a whole come to an end. So we're going to look at the medal count. NASCAR Atlanta recap. It was 3 great races at Echo Park Motor Speedway in Atlanta. Well, outside Atlanta. College baseball picks of the week recap from this weekend. Genesis Invitational recap. Midweek college basketball games, to watch for. College baseball midweek picks. So we're not going to keep record of these picks, but we're just going to do them for fun. And then new series, best home atmospheres. We're going to be going over most of the major. We're going to go through all the power conference, but then some of the major, mid-major conferences. Talking about not best home atmospheres. I actually changed it to best fan bases. But it didn't change in the agenda. Shout out me. And then best of the weekend. Let's get right into it, guys. Picks of the week. We had a roller coaster of emotions in the A10. I honestly thought VCU was going to be all over this. They were a 7.5 point underdog, and hell, they were winning for like a large margin of this game. And then all of a sudden, St. Louis just decided to wake up. Yeah. And it was just bad news from here on out for the Rams of VCU. And I am way off on the date there. Here we go. 80-75 for the Billikens. A 9-point lead for the VCU Rams at the half. We were all in St. Louis, so we all hit on this one. I mean, this is exactly what I was looking for St. Louis at a bounce back. Thought they were about to lose 2 in a row, to be honest with you, but then they really showed what kind of grit this team's got. I mean, they are able to shoot the ball prolifically. Robbie Avila is an absolute demon in the mid game. Luke, what you think about the Billikens?
They were so live at the half. It was insane. I mean, there was just like no way they were going to lose that game, especially after losing the one before. And then I want to shout out that St. Louis environment. Like that environment was rocking. And I mean, you had the scrap. It was just an all amazing A10 basketball. Couldn't ask for any better to start the Friday.
Yeah, the scrap was interesting. Chase, what do you think about this one?
I think St. Louis is one of the best A10 teams we've seen in a while. Quite honestly, just the resilience. They had I mean, by all standards, they moved down in the AP poll rankings from last week. So last week wasn't their best week, but the fact that coming off a loss and you're down 9 at halftime, we've seen a lot of other teams in the country crumble and lose a back-to-back, and to come back in that second half and dominate the way they did showed me a lot about how good this team is and how prolifically they can shoot it. Didn't they shoot it like 60% in the second half or something ridiculous?
Yeah, they were like 62% in the second half.
62, yeah, that's what the number was. 62, I mean, 62% is absolutely ridiculous. So, I mean, it shows the resilience. This is a really good ball club, and they're going to do something special in March.
We were all shocked in the Horizon League on Friday. I'll tell you what, Gottlieb's Green Bay took it to Oakland 73-68. They tied the second half, led by 5 at the first half. This was a hell of a game for Green Bay to really kind of cement themselves as a potential threat in the Horizon League, taking down Oakland on the road. Big win for the Phoenix. Anybody have any takes on this one?
Weren't they like the laughing stock last year?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They were Mississippi Valley-esque.
Yeah, so, hey, good bounce back year for
he quit the podcast, and all of a sudden this team has turned around.
That's what it was.
Chase.
Well, you got to give their coach a little bit of credit, even though he's quite a character, I will say that. But turning Green Bay around, they were atrocious last year, and to at least be competing this year. Kind of shocking Oakland lost, considering they were, towards the top of that conference. But, this, you kind of expect games like this, and Green Bay won on the road, which that's big time. So
In the SEC on Saturday now, the Tennessee Vols got the best of the Vanderbilt Commodores, 69-65. I really thought Vanderbilt had this game won or was going to win this game late. It was kind of a back and forth affair all throughout the second half, and they were just not able to pull it out. It's been a tough stretch of SEC play for the Commodores, but Tennessee's looking better for sure. This is a team that I'm pretty sure that has etched off like 4 or 5 in a row. So shout out to the Vols, as much as that burns me to say, but it was a good road win against a real, again, I think a solid Vanderbilt team that just kind of is struggling with size on the interior, and that's really kind of where they're getting abused, especially in the rebounding category. Luke, what you think about this one?
Yeah, it's kind of exactly why I picked Tennessee, was just because of the size, and they out rebounded by 9. They were able to be physical on the inside, and I mean, I do think it does definitely help that Tanner was not feeling very well or something. I don't know the legitimacy to that report, but apparently he wasn't feeling very good. But still, it's a good win to go on the road and beat Vanderbilt for Tennessee, which I hate to see.
Yeah, you hate to see it. Chase, what you think about this one?
Kind of a little bit surprised because this Tennessee team, like we have talked about, has not looked great for stretches down the, over stretches, but they've played some really good basketball the last couple weeks. I thought it was going to kind of end with Vanderbilt at home, it being a rivalry game and all, but Tennessee honestly played really well. And I've seen it a lot of times in college basketball. When you win that rebounding battle, 9 times out of 10, you're going to win games in college basketball just because of the second chance opportunities being so valuable. So, I thought Tennessee definitely took advantage of Vanderbilt's, I wouldn't say it's a weakness, but Vanderbilt's inability to rebound the ball as well as they could. So, I thought it was a good game from Tennessee, and they're on a roll and looks like they're starting to get hot at the right time.
100%. That does look like they're starting to get hot at the right time. A team that may not be. We were on the Houston Cougars, and I'm honestly shocked with how this game played out. Especially with Kobe Pete not really being an extreme factor. I don't even know if he played. I didn't watch it.
I don't think he didn't play.
Okay, so he didn't play. I was scoreboard watching this one. 73-66 for the Cats on the road against the Cougars, and a game that Houston really never was able to get a grasp on. They had a lead midway through the second half and just wasn't really able to do anything with it. I believe it was like 51-50 when they had a lead. I'm shocked that a Kelvin Sampson team would drop 2 in a row. But again, we know this is a damn good Arizona team, and Houston's got to play better. They got to shoot better when it really comes down to it. At 36% from the field, just ain't going to be able to get it done. So, tough loss for the Cougs. Chase, what did you think about this one?
I want to get on here and really say that, would have expected more from Houston, but this Big 12
That's
has
what
been
I told the producer.
so wide open and so tough. They've already won a lot of games down the stretch that are tough basketball games where I know this Houston team's good. Think about it. They went Iowa State, Arizona, Kansas. Those are all top 10 teams. In my opinion, those are 3 top 10 teams in the country right there. So, it's not good to lose back to back, but I still think this is a really talented Houston team. Kelvin Sampson is one of, if not the best coach in college basketball. He'll get it figured out. It's better to lose two now than lose in the conference championship and then lose first round in the NCAA tournament. So get your losses out of the way now, regroup. They still got 2 weeks of play left before they start conference tournament play. So I think Houston will be just fine. But Arizona definitely showed up. This is a tough away road win without your best players. So that is massive. If you're a Wildcat fan, I'm sure they're a little concerned. They lost back-to-back down the stretch too. So, I'm sure that definitely got the juices flowing for that fan base as well.
100%. Luke, do you have anything on this game?
Yeah. The one thing that I know Houston's kind of been known not to do is score. They didn't score for 6 straight minutes.
Yeah.
In the second half. And I know the Flemings guy is good, but this has always been why I hesitate to pick Houston in March, is because they just will have these stretches where, yes, they play great defense. They might only allow 10 points or 8 points over 5 minutes, but they won't score. And it's just if you don't score for 5 or 6 minutes of the game, especially down the stretch,
it kills you.
Yeah, they scored. It started at 10 minutes and they didn't score until the 4-minute mark in the second half. That kills you. And that is the only reason I am sort of worried with Houston. I think it could work out just because of their defense, but like if they go on a stretch where they can't score, it's going to be tough to win games in March. So it's going to certainly be interesting. They have to step up the offensive efficiency.
Well, we've seen
100%.
them smoke a lot of other teams, so like it just they gotta get the shooters hot a little bit, and Flemings has been playing great, but his supporting cast has to play well too.
Moving to the SEC now, Texas on the road against Georgia, and man, Georgia just kept them at an arm's length the entire game. They win 91-80. Me and the producer hot on that one. The Longhorns drop a tough road game. Chase, you're the one I want to ask here. What'd you think about the Longhorns here? I was pretty impressed with Georgia's performance.
Yeah, Georgia got out to a fast start, and that was really all that there was to it. I mean, they, like you said, they kept them at an arm's length the entire game. I mean, Texas didn't necessarily play bad, but when you're down 12 to 15 points in the first half and you don't really close it before halftime, it makes it really hard in the second half to truly come back. And Georgia just did enough to hold on and win, but it was a good offensive showing considering the first time they played them, they scored around 55 points and they dropped 91 at home. So that's a good turnaround for Georgia, and a tough loss on the road for Texas.
Matchup of the weekend was Michigan against Duke and Washington, D.C. And the best player in the game showed up, scored 18 points, Carlos Boozer. He also had 10 rebounds and 7 assists. Damn near had a triple-double. I'm just going to let someone on this panel take the floor for this game. By the way, I was right. The rest of y'all were wrong. But tell me why. Just talk big blue ball and talk this game, Luke. Just the floor is yours.
All right, so obviously Elliot Cadeau plays better and Mara doesn't get in foul trouble. We probably do win this game. Elliot Cadeau played the worst game of his Michigan career against Duke. He shot like 0 for 8 or was 0 for 7 or something. He played awful. And then Mara picked up 2 quick fouls and he's had to sit a bunch of the time, so we're having to rotate guys. Our other backup center picked up 2 quick fouls. Now, a big point in this game, I know refs, this is where it kind of really frustrated me. Carlos Boozer, or not, whatever his name is,
Cameron.
Boozer. Is it
Cameron,
yeah.
yeah.
Cam, sorry. Think of his dad. Cam Boozer goes to the goal. Johnson's going to the goal. He is going to dunk the ball. Cam Boozer slaps the shit out of his arm. The whole court stops playing. He has 4 fouls, by the way. The whole court stops playing because they think there's going to be a foul call. Literally, Yaxel, I think, is standing with the ball, just waiting for the ref to blow the whistle. He never blew the whistle. I mean, this was a blatant foul call they missed. There was 4 minutes left in the game. You could not tell me. He only had like 10 points at this point. He literally had not done anything this entire game. And he picked up his 5th foul with 4 minutes to go, and they did not call it. And also, like, Cam Boozer, obviously a great college player, when he was matched up with any of Michigan's big guys, did not do shit. He only scored the first 10 points were all on guards just because of the switch, which I'm going to give credit to Shire. Shire coached a great game. Shire's a great basketball coach. But, like, whenever Boozer would get one-on-one with Yaxel or Johnson, just wouldn't do anything. And then Yaxel dominated him in the post. And it was just so frustrating because when Jay Billis is literally sitting there as the biggest Duke homer there is and going, well, Michigan is kind of getting screwed by the refs here with some of these calls down the stretch, that is a problem. I mean, Duke was also 14-0 against the spread with the head official. I just want to throw that out there too. So it was a little frustrating because obviously we lost the game. So, I mean, I wish we would have won. But we had people play better, we win. But that foul, you can't tell me with their best player, should have been fouled out for the last 5 minutes. Does not change that fucking game. It was so frustrating. And that is all I'm going to leave it. It was just really frustrating to watch that as a fan of basketball.
We were watching UFC Fight Night, Strickland Hernandez, and I didn't catch this game, but Luke came in pretty fired up. A good win for the Dukies, though. I mean, that's a gritty neutral site win, and Michigan looked damn good. These are 2 of the best teams in the country. And then the shocker, honestly, is BYU beat Iowa State at home.
I know, we were all watching UFC.
I mean, I checked my phone out, and someone mentioned it was like, hey, what's the Iowa State score? And I looked at it, I was like, BYU won.
Yeah, the predictor,
which
I think.
Our big harp on BYU this season has been they aren't able to win games against high-quality opponents, and hey, they won a game against a high-quality opponent.
The bands of showed out. I'm pretty sure. I think he hit almost 30.
Nah,
Yeah.
he's a dog.
And then,
Chase, what'd you think about this
That
one?
Honestly, I thought Devanza played one of his best games of his college career against Iowa State. Iowa State was rolling, just got a massive win against Houston, and the last thing you expect is a floundering BYU team to come in and beat them. And AJ Devanza is playing some really good basketball, and he's honestly he's making it real hard to take Darren Peterson number one with how he's presenting himself in the media and with how he's playing on the court. Like, this kid is absolutely unbelievable. BYU played a lot better defense too against Iowa State and kind of shut them down a little bit, which was a little bit surprising considering how Iowa State's played over the last couple weeks.
100%. We have a shakeup in the picks leaderboard. Michael has actually taken the number 1 spot. Chase falls to number 2, and then me and Luke are knotted up at 3rd. It should be an interesting final stretch of the regular
so
season.
does this run through conference tournament?
No, this
or
is
it
this
just
is
regular
done
season?
regular season. As soon as the last regular season game ends, this is over.
Gosh, this is exactly what happened in football, and I just know it's not going to go my way.
I know, can't go your way twice.
So,
This week's big winners and big losers in terms of college basketball. I'm going to kick it off with my losers first. Nebraska is a team that I've been big on all year. All year, I've been big on the Cornhuskers. Yeah, they beat Penn State on Saturday, but you cannot lose to Iowa 57-52. It just – they're a loser for me because I think they're starting to get a little exposed with their lack of size in the interior. And I think that's going to be a big problem for them in March. Moving on to Troy, I'm just infuriated with our inability to play basketball on the road. Beat UL Monroe, the worst team in decent basketball conferences, by 1 on the road, and then go out and lose to our rival South Alabama on the road. We are not the number 1 team in the Sun Belt anymore. We're like number 4, and App State now is the presumed auto qualifier out of our conference. I would like to see us at least win the regular season so we can get an auto bid to the NIT if we don't win the conference tournament. But obviously our inability to win on the road is absolutely terrifying me. And then Vanderbilt, man, it's kind of same as Nebraska. I was big on this Vanderbilt team for most of the year. It's a size issue for the Commodores. And not only that, if you have a size issue, you got to be able to score in the perimeter, and they're not able to do that right now as well. They're not scoring at the rate they have been, scoring 80 to 90 points a game. They lose 81-80 to Missouri, then 69-65 to Tennessee. I think this is a tough week, tough stretch for the Vanderbilt Commodores. Do I think they will get back to where they were? Maybe. I think they're a threat in the tournament to get hot, maybe win a game or 2, but this is not the deep run Vanderbilt team I thought it was going to be. And then my winners, dude, Navy refuses to lose. They just refuse to lose. This is an unbelievable performance out of a Armed Forces Academy. They beat their arch rivals Army 61-83 on the road. This is a team that hasn't lost a game since they lost to American in January the 12th. I mean, this is an unbelievable team. They beat Lehigh 72-49. They beat Colgate 84-80. So not only are they beating the upper echelon of the Patriot League, they're also blowing out the teams they're supposed to blow out. I'm super impressed with Navy, and that's why they're a winner for me. And then, as much as it pains me, Tennessee, man, is an absolute winner this week for me. They beat Vanderbilt. They beat Oklahoma. I mean, it was really the Vanderbilt win that put them over the edge for me. This is a team that's starting to look good down the stretch, starting to piece some wins together. Granted, they're playing against the other than Vanderbilt, lower end of the SEC. I'm very interested to see what they do this week against at Missouri and then at home against Alabama. But Tennessee is absolutely a winner for me. And then, speaking of Alabama, they beat LSU by 7 on the road, and they beat Arkansas at an absolute all-time shootout, 117-115. They live and die by the 3, but hey, if you're going to live by it and you do it, then good for you. Alabama's an absolute winner for me. Luke, who are your winners and losers?
So I'm going to start with my winner, UCLA.
Kept their tournament hopes alive.
Extremely huge win against Illinois this weekend, which they were down, I think, they were down big at one point. I think they were down at the most 15. They were down 7 at the half. Ended up storming back and winning it overtime. I mean, they were hitting everything in the second half. I caught a little bit of this game. My dad watched most of it, and he said Illinois just forgot how to play basketball in that second half, and that is the whole reason they ended up losing. Then I'm going to go with Bethune-Cookman. The only reason I'm picking them for one of my other winners, or my game of the week from last week, so I'm going to try and give a shout out to the HBCU. They get another game on second place by beating Alabama A&M by, 9 at home. Just solid win for Bethune-Cookman. Gonna most likely end up getting into the tournament. Just, all those small schools like that, they get paid a little bit. They make the tournament. It's always good for them. So, and then my third winner, Florida State.
Yeah,
been
they've
playing
pieced some good basketball together.
extremely well.
Starting to creep up on my bubble.
Yeah, this is a team, because I don't know if they can win out per se and then get in just off bubble. Could be like the NC State team from a few years ago where they won the tournament and end up getting in that way because of the ACC.
Some quality opponents coming up in Miami and SMU. There is a chance if the chips fall, they could be around there.
No, obviously it's going to be a lot to happen, but they beat Tech, Boston College, Clemson at Clemson, which is a huge win. They beat Notre Dame, they beat Stanford and Cal, but they only lost to Virginia by 3 and SMU by 3, and then they beat a good Miami team. This FSU team is playing basketball right now extremely well. This could be a very dangerous team come ACC tournament time. And then we're going to get to my losers. Kansas. They got absolutely blown out by Cincinnati. This is the largest loss in Bill Self Kansas history in Allen Fieldhouse. They lost by 16. They looked abysmal in that second half. Peterson looked awful. The only person who showed up was their center, Badunga. I'm butchering that, but he's the only guy who showed up. And I know Peterson is getting a bunch of flack, obviously, and he's saying that he's finally going to start playing his heart out. But we'll see tonight. I'm not. That is my only worry with
this
Kansas.
Houston team is going to make him crumble.
Okay, Homer, but we'll see. It should be a really good game. It's in Allen Fieldhouse. Self is like 40-0 on when he plays on Mondays.
41-0.
Or so. Yeah, it's something ridiculous.
41-0.
41-1.
Kelvin Sampson hasn't lost 3 games in a row since 2017.
So
something's going to break.
What is it? I can't remember the saying. But anyways, my next loser is going to be Illinois. They were up 15 in this game, and you really need, especially in the Big Ten with having to go out to the West Coast, you need to handle these games because these are the games that you can drop very easily. Purdue lost to UCLA out at UCLA. One of the schools lost to Oregon. That's okay. You see a bunch of these teams that have to travel and vice versa that just lose these games because of the travel. And my last one loser is going to be Liberty. They ran through the CUSA and they got
pieced.
Killed by Western Kentucky at Liberty. Liberty was the home team. They lost by 21, 94-73. That's the only worry with Liberty, too, in this tournament. They have no size. They literally have no size. It is 6'6", and then they're all 6'2". They got out-rebounded by 14, and if they're not hitting the three, they aren't going to win basketball games. They shot 29% from three. Still shot 56 from the field, but they got out-rebounded by 14. So those are my winners and losers of the week.
Chase, how about you?
Watch out for Sam Houston in there. Oh, yeah. I think Sam Houston could make a run in that Conference USA tournament. They've been playing some good basketball as of late. But anyways, I'll get into my winners and losers. Winners, obviously, you got to start with Arizona. Probably outside of Duke being Michigan, the biggest win on this sheet. But I think it could even be a bigger win considering that they went into the Fertitta Center here in Houston and got the win away from home. Houston has played great at home this year and in years past. That is a formidable place to play. And without your star player to come in and play the way they did and honestly dominate the game from the tip to the finish, that's a great win for Arizona and putting them back in conversation for, one of the top teams in the country. Then Duke, massive win at a neutral site versus, Michigan. Honestly, a great game. Michigan's transition defense struggled a little bit with Duke's offense, but Cam Boozer he's a phenomenal talent, a phenomenal player. Nearly had a triple-double, and it's crazy, like Luke was saying, Michigan did slow him down for parts of the game, and dude almost leaves the game with a triple-double. He's going to win Player of the Year. He's phenomenal, and Florida continues to win. I think that's 7 in a row now. They're really cementing themselves as a top team in the country after, a shaky start. Xavier Lee's playing great. This whole, the Florida front court is great. I'm really high on this Florida team, and they are absolutely rolling right now, and I think they could make a deep run in March Madness. My losers, I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be. Yes, Houston lost back to back, but if you look who they lost to two top five teams. They lost a really close game to Iowa State on the road by 3 points a game they could have won, and then they lost at home to Arizona. Could have won that game too. It wasn't like they got blown out. They were in both games, shot it terribly against Arizona, and still had a chance to win. Um, and almost went to Ames and got the one against Iowa State. So, I temper that disappointment, but anytime a Kelvin Sampson team loses a back-to-back, you're going to put them in the losers, especially with the talent that this Houston team has. And then Clemson has lost 4 games in a row. This was a team that was a fringe
They're
top.
struggling.
Yeah, they're struggling big time. This was a fringe top 25 team a couple weeks ago. A lot of polls had them 22, 21-ish range, and they've dropped 4 straight. They're free falling right now. And it's a bad time to start losing like this because there's not a lot of games to get right before the conference tournament and before March Madness. So I would be a little concerned if I'm a Tiger fan. And then UConn drops a game to Creighton, which I know Creighton is historically not a bad basketball program, but they have been
Well, it is
well below their
Dan
standards
Hurley's
this year.
kryptonite.
It is, but I'm just saying, this Creighton team has not been the Creighton team of years past where it's like, they're really dominant. Like they don't have a Kalkbrenner this year who's actually absolutely dominant. They're a little bit weaker. I mean, they're around 500. So if you're UConn, you're top 5, top 7 in the country, you should be able to handle that and win the game. But Coach McDermott up there at Creighton is clearly Dan Hurley's kryptonite. So, but definitely my losers too, especially going into a week with St. John's, where if they lose this game to St. John's, they don't win the conference, and I mean that sets them up in a pretty poor spot.
Bracketology time now. We have a fresh bracketology off the press. Our number 1 overall seed, the Duke Blue Devils, after a big win against the Michigan Wolverines, playing the winner out of the SWAC, Bethune-Cookman, in a play-in game against Howard. Iowa gets the 8 seed against 9 SMU here in the West region. 5 Kansas against 12 High Point, who got a big win against Winthrop this weekend. 4 Michigan State and Liberty drops to a 13 for me out of the Conference USA. 6 Kentucky plays the winner of USC, who is hanging on by a thread, in Santa Clara. Gonzaga, 3 seed out of the WCC, plays 14 East Tennessee State University. 7 Wisconsin against 10 Auburn. And then 2 Purdue against 15 Navy. Over to the Midwest now, we have Arizona playing the winner of LIU, the Shocks, against Merrimack College. 8 Utah State against 9 UCF. 5 Tennessee against 12 Yale. That'd be a banger of a game. 4 Texas Tech against 13 Utah Valley. 6 Louisville against the winner of Missouri and UCLA, hanging on by a thread in the 11 seed. 3 Illinois playing 14. A team that's just been rising little by little for me over the past few weeks is Portland State. They're at the 14 for me in the Midwest. 7 Villanova against 10 St. Mary's. And then 2 Florida against 15 North Dakota State. Florida up to a 2 seed. Over now to the South, the 3rd overall seed, Michigan, playing the worst nightmare for any 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, UMBC. 8 Miami playing 9 Miami. I think this would be absolutely electric if they did this. That's why I had them both as 8 and 9 seeds. I was like, you know what? I'll put them against each other. Put that thought in the NCAA tournament's mind. 5 seeded Arkansas against 12 seeded Belmont. 4 St. John's against 13 Stephen F. Austin. 6 North Carolina against 11 Texas A&M, who's really started to show their true colors in the SEC. They're struggling. 3 Nebraska against 14 UC Irvine. 7 NC State against 10 Texas. And 2 the Houston Cougars against 15 Wright State. Would love to see a 10 Texas 2 Houston matchup there in the second round. And then in the East region, the number 1 seed in that region, the 4 overall, Iowa State getting 16 SEMO, who has dethroned UT Martin right now as the auto qualifier out of the OVC. 8 Georgia against 9 Clemson. 5 BYU against 12 South Florida. 4 Bama against North Carolina Wilmington out of the CAA. 6 Vanderbilt against 11 Ohio State, who has done enough for me to at least be in a bye. 3 Virginia against 14 the Austin Peay State Governors. And then 7 St. Louis against 10 Indiana. Indiana had a rough week. And then 2 UConn against 15-seeded Sun Belt auto qualifier Appalachian State. Let's take a look at the bubble. Last 4 byes: Auburn, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Ohio State in that order. Last 4 in: Missouri, Santa Clara, USC, UCLA in that order. All these are in the order, if you can't tell. First 4 out: New Mexico, Cal, TCU, and VCU. Next 4 out would be San Diego State, Virginia Tech, Seton Hall, and Arizona State. making a run to try to get in the NCAA tournament in a really tough Big 12 conference. Boys, open the floor to y'all. Bracketology.
Yeah. Is Auburn gonna make the tournament? I mean, they're 15-12.
Yeah, they're starting
Like-
to slip hard. There is some decent bias, I feel like, in the attorney's eyes for Auburn.
Okay.
As far as that's what most of us bracketologists have in consensus, that right now the tournament would still have them in. Do I think, I mean, slide down the rest of their schedule here for me if you don't mind. Like, if they were to go out and drop Oklahoma, now you're probably seeing them in at least an 11 seed, if not a play-in. They've got to go almost 3-1 in their last, if assuming their one loss is Alabama, and actually 3-1 no matter how you slice it up, because the win at Alabama would offset it. But if they lose 2 games here, I think they may be a play-in, and then that at that point, when you're in the play-in 11 seed, it matters what you do in the conference tournament. And then the SEC is a gauntlet. If they lose their first game in the conference tournament, I think Auburn is a real threat to miss the NCAA tournament in Kid Pearl's first year.
Yeah, because that's kind of what I was looking at them, because I saw you had them as like one of the last 4 buys. And I would have thought with their record and like really their resume, what they've done in SEC play, that they would be in the play-in right now. But I
They're
mean,
close. They're flirting with it.
if they've got a bias,
not enough teams, and I get this, but not enough teams behind them honestly did enough to push them up. I mean, UCLA could have been in that position to threaten for a 10 seed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they got blown out in 2 games and then won against Illinois to keep them in the play-in.
Yeah.
USC could have gotten that position. They lost to Oregon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a domino effect. Missouri hadn't really done enough for me to surpass. And the rest of the teams are out of the tournament. So, I mean, just kind of by default, Auburn is just kind of sitting at that 10 seed right now, which lucky for them, because I do not think they're a very good team.
no, yeah, I completely agree.
Chase.
Well, I was actually going to talk a little bit about Texas A&M. I mean, I know that you have them as an 11 seed right now. How have they fallen so far, considering, I would say they have a better resume than Auburn and maybe Missouri or Texas, and you've got like Texas, Auburn, and Missouri ahead of them.
Well, I mean, Auburn had definitely a tougher non-conference schedule. You got to remember, this is an entire,
most definitely.
Yeah, this is an entire resume, and Texas A&M hadn't done themselves any favors. I mean, they lost by 3 to Bama, got blown out by Florida, lost to Missouri, got blown out by Vanderbilt, barely beat Ole Miss, and barely beat Oklahoma. Barely beating Ole Miss and Oklahoma isn't going to do anything for me to like gain favor. It almost is like a neutral offset in my mind. And I think they've honestly just been playing pretty poorly in the last kind of stretch of SEC play. Now, granted, it's going to matter what they do against Arkansas and Texas coming out, but if you look at the rest of their schedule, there's 3 more losses on there realistically with Arkansas, Texas, and Kentucky. If they go 1-3, I think we're talking about a Texas A&M team that is in real danger of not making the tournament at all.
100%.
Anything else, boys?
Yeah. So what's the deal with Texas Tech? I do they take the top and how like heavy?
No, so you can't weigh it too heavily, especially because they did play well last time out without JT Toppin. It is going to matter how they finish the season now that they don't have their big. But yeah, Kansas State's terrible, but you went and took care of business, beat them by 28. I think what the tournament committee really has 2 games circled on their schedule right now, which is Iowa State and BYU. Yeah, I think they could lose both those games and still be like at a 5-6 range.
It just depends on how.
It just depends how bad they would lose both those games. If they win one of those games, I think they stay at like the 4 or 5 range. Yes, you have to think JT Toppin being out is going to be a big factor, but they also have to prove to the committee that is a factor.
Okay. I didn't know how they.
Let's have Christian Anderson too, who's a dog in his own right. So
yeah, that's it. They still have dogs up and down the court.
Both their guards are very good. So
yeah.
Anything else?
No, sir.
All right. Swiss Army Sports Top 25. We have Duke at number 1, 2 Michigan, 3 Arizona, 4 Iowa State, and 5 Houston rounding out our top 5. Florida, man, they are a team that is climbing for all of us up to 6. UConn at 7. Gonzaga back at the top 10 at 8, 9 Purdue, and 10 Illinois, 11 Virginia, 12 Nebraska, 13 Michigan State, little brother, 14 St. John's, 15 Kansas, 16 Alabama, 17 Texas Tech, 18 BYU, 19 North Carolina, 20 Miami of Ohio, 21 Arkansas, 22 St. Louis, 23 Tennessee back in the poll, Louisville stays at 24, and Miami at 25. Receiving votes, Vandy has dropped out for the first time pretty much this season. And then Wisconsin with 2 points, Vandy with 3. Olympic hockey.
Before we start this, guess who got the whole order right? So
Yes.
I literally
I wanted to throw this in there. Thank you. Luke successfully predicted the medal order for hockey. He had Finland's bronze, Canada silver, U.S. gold. Let's start the semifinals. Canada, by the hair of their chins, scathes by Finland in a questionable penalty call, 3-2. The United States dominates Slovakia, 6-2. Then Finland goes out and beats the hell out of Slovakia in the bronze medal game. Honestly did not see this one coming, 6-1. And then was Sunday. I woke up Sunday morning feeling damn American, damn patriotic. Got me a red Solo cup, dried it, wrote Canadian Tears on it, drank out of it all morning. We started out well. Matt Boldy with a hell of a breakout goal, splitting 2 defenders, going top shelf on Bennington to get us up 1-0. And then it was a Canadian onslaught for majority of the game. Connor Hellebuck played out of his mind. Sends us to overtime 3-on-3 after a Cale Makar goal knocks it up. And then Captain America Part 2. His brother got it done against Sweden. He gets it done against the Canadians in the gold medal game. Toothless after taking a double minor high stick penalty. 2-1 victory for the United States of America, the hockey country in the world, over Canada. Boys, I thought we got outplayed. I didn't think we were skating fast enough. I think we were afraid to make mistakes. However, we have the best goalie in the world in Connor Hellebuck, evidently, other than Andrei Vasilevsky or Sergei Bobrovsky, who are both Russian and unable to compete. I think it was really just a tale of the goalies. Bennington was the poorer of the two. I thought we could honestly have more than 2 goals. There were quite a few opportunities we had. Of course, there were opportunities Canada had with Nathan McKinnon missing a wide open net. I thought their forecheck was good for Canada the entire game. I thought we could have done a little bit better on that aspect as well, getting pressure in their own end. But it doesn't matter. Scoreboard says 2-1. I am so fired up to get the NHL back and rolling now that I can root for a Canadian team again and cheer on McJesus and sing "O Canada" now that this is over. But God, I am so proud of being American. I am so proud that we took it to them and beat their ass in the gold medal game, and we are the winners. Luke, immediate reaction from the Olympics.
it was electric. I mean, all of America, if whether you watched hockey or you don't watch hockey, was tuned into this game. This thing had me screaming at 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I was freaking tired, but this game was the only reason I was getting up. I mean, Hellenbuck on that save with his stick.
Oh my God.
Behind his back. I was like,
Insane.
what the hell? I mean, that's some like wizard shit. I mean, it was just beautiful. All the Miracle on Ice. You had Micah Ruzioni celebrating with the team afterwards. I mean, the speeches too. Hughes's post-game presser.
They were trashed. I loved it.
No, but his immediate
interview
was just beautiful. I mean, that will be in USA edits for years to come. And hey, I guess we'll find out in 4 more years. I hope we can do it again.
Hey man, well, 2 more years for the 4 nations. Chase, I know you want to talk about it, brother. Let's talk about it.
Of course. Obviously, I mean, I'm a little bit different than you will. I thought we actually played really well. The first period, I thought we came out on fire.
Yeah, we played well in the first period, but
I thought the first 2 periods, honestly, we played really well. Towards the end of the second, it definitely play dropped off a little bit, and we got absolutely outplayed in the third. And I think that's the recency bias that everybody remembers is how, I mean, Canada, it was a miracle they didn't get that second goal in the third period. But, I mean, Connor Hellebuck played probably one of the best goalkeeping games I think I've ever seen in my life watching hockey. I mean,
100%.
In that moment, I mean, some of the saves he made were absolutely insane. Like you said, we got a little bit of luck with McKinnon missing the wide open net, but honestly, I thought we defended really well for the most part.
And we killed a 5-on-3. I think people are taking a little bit of, even me just in the intro, we're taking a little bit away from our American boys. I mean, our defense was incredible.
The 5-on-3 kill was
the 5-on-3 kill was insane.
Yeah, I mean that was elite. They didn't even have any lanes to skate through. Like they weren't getting any lanes on that 5-on-3. So I mean, the fact that our penalty kill was so good. I mean, I think we're taking it a little bit out of context. Like, I don't think that they're quite understanding like that. They have McKinnon, McDavid, and what's his face? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking.
Celebrating.
Who's the other winger?
Celebrating.
That's good. The young one.
Celebrating.
Yeah, Celebrini. That a front three of that. I mean, that's the best in the world. There's no
When
question
that line was on the ice, I was terrified.
Yeah, I mean that is the best line, especially when you have McCarr right behind them, who in his own right is one of the best defensemen in the world. So, I mean, you got to give credit to the United States. They were clearly the underdogs here. We are definitely a talented team, talented nation, but I mean, we don't have a Connor McDavid. There's no question. We don't even have a
Well,
Nathan
we also
McKinnon, but
didn't bring our 2 highest goal scorers in the NHL this year.
Yep.
So, I mean, there is that.
that's
Really?
who.
Yeah, Cole
Yep.
Caulfield, who is the highest scoring American in the NHL this year, was not on this roster.
And Jason Robertson.
Yeah,
too,
and
from the
Jason
Stars.
Robertson.
So, I mean, I honestly was super impressed though with the Hughes brothers. I thought Quinn Hughes had a phenomenal tournament overall. I mean, he was one of our best defensemen, if not our best defenseman. Jack Hughes was electric going forward. I mean, they were awesome to watch. Obviously, the Kachuk brothers bring so much energy. Austin Matthews is just pure class. Super underrated. I don't think he gets talked about enough, but overall, I mean, just this American hockey team was. I mean, it was super fun to watch. It was, I mean, that's how you represent your country right there. We've got so many different examples of athletes, like I don't care what your political views are. Like when you put on the United States of America shirt, you're just an American. You're not a Republican, Democrat, anything like that. You're a true American. And I loved how our boys represented that. They didn't choose a side. They just were proud to be Americans. And I think, Jack Hughes' speech at the end just kind of exemplified that. And the other thing I wanted to shout out is I thought Mike Tirico did a phenomenal
did.
job
Yes.
this entire Olympics, but just how he closed it out, I mean, nearly brought tears to my eyes. It was just great. Super proud to be American, super proud of the boys, and hopefully we get it done in 2 years.
Absolutely. That was a hell of an Olympics. Speaking of the Olympics, we break our record for most gold medals with 12. Now, Norway did dominate. We kind of expected that. It
Yeah.
was kind of reaching for U.S.
I got Italy.
Yeah. But Italy came in third. Strong showing from the home country. Then Germany with 26, Japan with 24, France, Switzerland, Canada, Netherlands, and Sweden round out the medal count. It was an unbelievable Olympics. Cannot wait for the summer. Can't wait for 4 more years against the winter. But really what it gets me excited for is the World Cup, man. I think that's just a little appetizer for some American pride. You know what also got me juiced for is the World Baseball Classic. So, I mean, it's...
We got to talk about that later.
We got so much American teams to watch and get excited for over the next 6 months.
Yep.
Absolutely. NASCAR Atlanta was pretty damn exciting. Another drafting track. The FRA 208, Freight 208 was how they were saying it. The truck race was damn good. Carson Hocevar pushed Kyle Busch to a win. Chase nails it on the head, gets the winner. Luke, your dude, ran in third. He was going to run well. He did. Rigero came in third. And then, man, Ricky Stenhouse was up top the entire race, ends up finishing ninth. It was a good truck race. Good for our predictions as well. Where it starts to slip is the O'Reilly Series. Sheldon Creed gets his first ever win in NASCAR, the O'Reilly Series. Someone picked him last week.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Everybody repeated their O'Reilly Series picks now, except Luke. And the one he didn't repeat is the one who won. And the dude that he picked, Blaine Perkins, wrecked in the first stage. Chase, your dude was gonna win, to be honest with you. He got turned. He did have a little bit of an aggressive block on Ross Chastain on that lap, but he got turned. And then Mike Allgaier got wrecked, and he was a non-factor. And then in the Cup race,
Electric race.
it was an electric race. I cannot stand that Tyler Reddick has won back-to-back now. Kyle Larson was a dominant force in majority of this race, and
He made
a dumb block.
stupid block at the end of stage 2, and he was flying. He was top 5 consistently in this whole race, and just for some reason he decided to go like that Family Guy clip.
I know what you're talking about.
You go, I'm gonna merge over without looking at all, and go, and just freaking go down the track.
I merged now.
What
Yeah, I don't know what the hell he was doing. By the way, Tyler Reddick, I thought was ranked out of this race and won it without a front right fender, which is insane.
I can't
How
believe
much-
he continued.
Yeah, I can't believe how
His
much
whole car was messed
speed
up.
his car
Yeah.
had after it was that much damage. The last few laps were just complete chaos. I thought Chase could have won at one point. I thought Chase Elliott was right up there
Yeah.
in the mix. I thought I definitely was going to win with Carson Hocevar. He was making moves up and down ever since he got those fresh 4 tires. It just at 45, man, he got pushed to the win. Chase Briscoe chose him, and out Carson Hocevar left him out to dry, and no one was catching him after that.
Yeah.
Hell of a start for Tyler Reddick. It'll be a completely different story on these leaderboards next week at Coda, which is a road course.
And Hocefar's getting turned at least in the first stage.
Yeah, so Carson. Okay. Chase, did you watch the race?
I did a little bit, yeah.
Did you watch the
I didn't
finish?
watch the beginning. Yeah, I watched the finish.
Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. I think there's 2 opinions on this. And I have, of course, the pro Carson Hocevar opinion on it because I'm a Carson Hocevar fan. I saw the hole. I did. I saw the hole he tried to shoot. So he tried to shoot that hole with the first green right checker restart. It didn't end up well for Christopher Bell. Turned the 20 car. And people, like that's dirty race and whatever. They went back and even the commentators were like, I see it. I see where he was trying to go. And it was a pretty aggressive block by Christopher Bell to try to close that hole. Again, if this is stage 2, you probably don't shoot that gap. But I get why Hocevar's never won a race. He was trying to win a race. You can't fault the kid for it. Luke, what'd you think about Atlanta?
Yeah, no, it was a great race. I think this was better than Daytona the week before. I thought this was a better race.
And watch your mouth now, around.
I'm just saying, from my entertainment value and watching the 2 NASCAR races, I thought this was better. But anyways, I get Hocevar because honestly, if you're in that position, what was he running, 3rd or something?
Yeah,
you wreck there and you move up the 2nd, and then you try to just beat the guy out. I mean, I totally agree with this approach. People are going to be pissed because if I'm Bell, I am livid right now because he was running 2nd that entire last 30, 40 laps, and he just got spun out. So I'd be livid, but it was a great finish. I thought it was a great race.
yeah. Chase, what'd you think of it?
I'm just really going to talk about 23-11, honestly, coming in and winning the first 2 races this year. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. They've got a good team and crew there together, but I don't think anybody expected the start to the season that they're having. I mean, I don't know about you, Will, but it's been
hell,
pretty
they've got
impressive.
Riley Herbst out here just being the car bomber who is just taking out fields left and right to get his teammates wins. It's insane.
And
what
Watson
this
had
dude
a chance
did.
to win this race too. So
I'm waiting for the Bubba Wallace.
Honestly, I'm
Well, it's my
surprised
fault, yeah.
Bubba Wallace didn't win. He had a fast car all day. Now he just
What was he doing?
I got to be sensitive with this.
No, but what was he doing?
He didn't know how to lead a race. The block was terrible. He drove way too high and took himself out of the race. Yeah.
I was like, what is he doing?
He is having trouble leading races. It is true. But damn, those cars, those 2311, you are right, Chase. Those cars are damn fast. They're so fast. We saw that both at Daytona, Atlanta. Next week, it's the road courses, and it's going to be Trackhouse's time with Ross Chastain, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Connor Zilic. I tell you that. A little preview. Moving on, we have one too quick. We have 2 ties this week
Because of rain delays.
Hold on, in a literal tie. I have never seen it in college baseball. We have a tie. They ended the game after 6 innings, 3-3 between North Carolina and ECU. That way we get a series tie. Each team won a game and they tied. So no points there. Kentucky wins 2 out of 3 on the road against Evansville. We all hit that. West Virginia wins 2 out of 3 on the road against Liberty. We all hit that. Troy wins 2 out of 3 at home against Campbell. We all hit that. Texas absolutely annihilates Michigan State. Sweeps them. Wishful thinking on Luke's end, but
Yeah.
all of us except Luke hit that. Tulane dominated Harvard, swept them.
good.
They looked damn good at home.
Really
We all
good.
hit that. And this was honestly so exciting to watch. I was watching it.
I watched I think I watched the first game, but like at the other ones I was asleep. Like it's like some of these go off at like 10:30, and it's like
It was an 11 o'clock first pitch.
yeah.
Wichita State and Hawaii put on a show in this the second week in a row. Hawaii
It's
has
not-
tied a series 2-2. So that takes us to our college baseball standings. Chase still in first. Luke and Michael are tied at 8-3, and I am in last at 7-4. The Genesis Invitational happened this week. Ludwig Oberg, he did okay. Scotty Scheffler started off horrible, ended up doing okay. Victor Hovland did not do great.
Yeah, Hovland just shot like 2 under. He was just average.
So
I mean,
shout out to Clemson grad Jacob Bridgman getting his win.
and almost selling.
And almost selling, but getting the win at the Genesis Invitational this week in the golf front. So let's talk about some midweek college basketball games to watch, ladies and gentlemen. Mine got to start off with Cincinnati against Texas Tech. I mean, we're getting a Texas Tech team without JT Toppin. Cincinnati had a big win against Kansas, a team that's, in my mind, if they win this game, now they're starting to flirt with tournament play again. At least getting back on that bubble. I think this is a decent Cincinnati team ever since they kind of got it, their heads back right. They've won 4 in a row. They have opportunities to make jumps with Texas Tech, BYU, TCU, and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State and TCU, 2 bubble teams. You've got essentially 2 in-tournament, 2 bubble teams left on your schedule. You run the table there. Cincinnati's a real threat. And I'm really interested to see what Texas Tech does here against a quality opponent without JT Toppin. They took care of Kansas State, but we will have to see what they do against an actual team in Cincinnati. And then I move to the Mountain West. We have New Mexico on the road against Nevada. I think this is a monumental game for New Mexico. Honestly, a must win. It's on CBS Sports Network at 10 o'clock. Nevada 18-9, New Mexico 21-6. New Mexico is just flirting with the tournament. They barely skated by Fresno State. I think I need to see a strong performance out of New Mexico in this game to really cement themselves as a tournament front runner in terms of getting in. And then we got the battle of the 2 best teams of the ASUN, 13-3 in the conference against 15-1. Austin Peay hosting Central Arkansas. I think this would be an absolute banger of a game in the ASUN on Wednesday. Luke, what are your midweek games to watch for?
So I want to start out with St. John's and UConn. It is a crime this is on Peacock. I despise Peacock as a streaming platform in general. Anyways, on Wednesday at 6 o'clock, we got St. John's going to UConn. I mean, like we've kind of alluded to, UConn is not really this tournament team that we think can go to the Final Four like they have been in the past, and St. John's has been absolutely rolling. So I think this is going to be an electric atmosphere. I'm interested to see how St. John's goes on the road to play UConn. Then my second game is going to be a battle for essentially the top of the Mountain West with –
This is a big game for San Diego State.
Yeah, with Utah State being 13-3 in the Mountain West and then San Diego State being 12-4 in the Mountain West. I mean, this is obviously 2 of the best Mountain West teams. I mean, Utah State is coming off the loss to Nevada, which I think Nevada's also a great team. And San Diego State's dropped 2 in a row to Grand Canyon and Colorado State. I mean, this is at San Diego State. This is a huge game, especially with San Diego State being on that bubble. This is a must-win for them. And, again, this is just going to be a big resume builder for Utah State. And then my final one is going to be more of a homework thing because, like we alluded to on this last podcast, with a bunch of these smaller schools, that's where you make your money gambling in tournament time. And I got ETSU playing Wofford. It's first and second in the SoCon. I mean, it's like a 3-game gap. ETSU should easily win this, but Wofford could be a team in this tournament because they have a dude with Holmes averaging 19 that could potentially upset
I'm
some
looking
people.
forward to this one in the SoCon for sure.
So it should be a good game.
Chase, who should we watch for this week?
I don't know how we left Kansas Houston off for midweek games, but
the game's going on right now.
Yeah, it's about to start.
That is true. I mean, it is literally going on right now. But I'm going to start off with another game going on right now, McNeese versus UTRGV in the Southland Conference. UTRGV's been solid this year. Nothing super impressive, but McNeese and Stephen F. Austin are the 2 top teams in the Southland right now. Stephen F. Austin only has 1 loss in conference. McNeese has 3. But, that gap can obviously close. McNeese needs to win out to have a chance to win that, or at least tie for that conference title. So this is a really big game
McNeese
for the
up
Cowboys.
7, by the way, with 3 minutes left.
SF Austin's down 10 to New Orleans with 6 minutes
Exactly
left.
my point. So it's really tight right there in the Southland at the top between McNeese State and Stephen F. Austin. Both teams could very well be tournament teams. Are both played some really good basketball this year. They're kind of, being out of the South and they're not talked about as much, but these are two really good low mid-major teams. And then St. Louis versus Dayton. This is always a banger in the A10. Dayton a little bit down from their usual standards, but obviously St. Louis is top 25 team, and this is a Dayton Flyer team that could pull an upset here. And then out in the West Coast Conference,
this is so big,
massive. This is for number 2 behind Gonzaga. Santa Clara versus St. Mary's. This is going to be an absolute banging game.
Can I say something about this game? I'm going to call it a must-win for Santa Clara here.
Must win, 100%. I think St. Mary's, wouldn't you say, is probably going to be a tournament team?
Unless Santa Clara were to go out and blow them out by 20, yeah, I think St. Mary's is pretty safely in.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think this is more Santa Clara's got to get a result here, considering what they've done against the upper echelon of the West Coast Conference. But I think this is maybe the best midweek game, even better than St. John's versus UConn, just in terms of the implications.
100%. That's got to be the biggest game in terms of implications in the midweek. Speaking of midweek, college baseball picks. We're not keeping record, but we got to talk midweek baseball. This is where we get our exciting matchups. Arkansas State, who's honestly looked pretty good, only 2 losses on the road against Arkansas. We're all on the Hogs. I just think the bat's going to be way too much. They're both going to throw bullpen games. I mean, that's pretty much how these midweek games go. But I did think this was good enough to put it on there. We're all on the Hogs. Speaking of good enough to put on there, I think this is a sneaky one. Austin Peay, who is a ASUN favorite, and honestly, even one of the college baseball pages had him as a College World Series finalist. Against Mississippi State. This is a damn good Mississippi State team that has really no holes in their lineups. We're all in Mississippi State. We're all in Southern Miss at home against Alabama. This is the Southern Miss team that is red hot. Alabama struggling not as much as, they have been in the past, previous 5 years. They used to be a terrible baseball team.
They got LeBron now.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But this is going to be a tough one for Bama on the road, especially at Southern Miss. Undefeated UTSA on the road against 5-2 Texas State. I am the only dude that took Texas State here. Everybody else on UTSA.
I watched UTSA play DBU this weekend, and they're damn good.
Yeah, they're damn good.
They should win the
One
American.
of my buddies that I played high school baseball with, Sam Simmons, is pitched the lights out for UTSA against DBU on Saturday. He went 4 innings, I think, with only 1 earned run. I don't know if you watched him. Look, he's a little submarine guy, but
I didn't watch Saturday.
For them too.
I watched. I think
so Sunday.
Friday one is what I watched.
Yeah, it was the Saturday game.
Yeah, so I didn't watch Saturday one.
Well, but yeah, UTSA has been playing phenomenal.
Yeah, they have. The 2 Troy alums take Troy on the road against Georgia.
I couldn't home.
Yeah, Michael and Luke took Georgia. That'll be an interesting one. See what Troy really has. We all took Florida against a really good, at least in the early season, FIU team. I think FIU honestly posed a little bit of threat to Florida there.
It scares me because Kennesaw State showed that they can score against Florida, and if Florida's bat is not going, it's going to be interesting because I don't think Florida, at least in the few games I've watched them this year, does not look like they have like elite pitching. So
yeah, and I want to preface again on this Arkansas game. They do play 2 games. We're talking about the Tuesday game. And then Tulane on the road against South Alabama. We all took Tulane. This is a Tulane team that looks red hot. I don't think South Al is going to be able to have the pitching to keep up with Tulane in this one, as we are all in the green wave. Pretty unanimously in unison here for the midweek. So that takes us to our new little fun segment that we're going to do over the next few weeks. Best fan bases in college basketball. We're starting with the American Conference. My number 1 is Wichita State. All right, this is we went to the American Conference Tournament in 2019. Wichita State travels everywhere. They pack out their home crowd. They're active on social media. They are by far the best college basketball fan base in the American. Mm-hmm. Not far behind, though, is FAU, who literally averages 103% on their attendance. Granted, they only hold 3,000, but they pack that thing out. Also pretty active on Twitter. Social media team's pretty good. So got to give FAU my number 2. My number 3 are the Memphis Tigers. They do have the best arena in the American, obviously, because they play in the Grizzlies. When they're good, it's packed. It has a great atmosphere. But when they're not, even when they're just average, it is just so empty. They're so fair weather fans here in Memphis. Hate to say it.
I'll speak on it.
But they are active on social media and loud on social media. So you got to give them number 3. Number 4 is East Carolina. This is a school that's very proud of their sports in general, football, basketball and baseball, but very active on social media. They show up for their basketball games, even though they suck. They're still showing up. So I got to give a shout out to the Pirates. And then UAB is really an emerging mid-major in terms of both G5 football and mid-major basketball and baseball that have really just starting to grow their fan base in a area that they really could excel in the capital city, not capital city, but should be capital city, biggest city in Alabama and Birmingham. So I got to give number 5 to UAB, and they're also weirdly really loud and active on social media. The UAB fan base. Luke, talk to me about your rankings.
So like you said, Shockers number 1. I mean, even when they played Memphis, when they're both good, you'll see people here. I mean, and it's not at all an easy drive. So, and then FAU, I think, has the second best student section, at least because I'm gauging all my stuff on when I watch the Tigers. That place is rocking. I mean, I think they have the second, if not the best student section in the country, or sorry, in the American. Then Tigers are my 3 just because of the sheer size of Memphis. And I will say the only deterrent they have is you have to go downtown to watch them. If this was like on campus, I think this would be a much more, I'll say, it'd be a much more attended event, because there is a difference from going to the Memphis campus to going downtown, because you're more likely to get broken into going downtown. Then number 4, Temple. I mean, dude, I feel like whenever Memphis plays Temple, that place is freaking rocking. And I was like looking up some of their last home games, and like you get those videos or whatever, the highlights, that student section's full. I mean, for Temple to be very average every single year, I think they have a great fan base. And then USF, I feel like, is very active on Twitter for USF sports base, and their crowds are pretty good in basketball. So that's why they're my number 5.
Chase.
Well, I think Wichita State's the easy pick for the American Athletic Conference, considering they don't have football and their fan base travels really well. This has been a perennial. I mean, obviously they haven't been at the levels they were at in previous years, but this is a really big fan base coming out of Wichita. And then FAU as well. FAU basketball is a really sneaky pick. Like, they're always good. And they've got a great fan base down there. I mean, like you said, the arena's small. They pack it out. Really fun to watch. Memphis, I agree with Luke. The sheer size of Memphis makes their fan base good. But in terms of attendance, I mean, the crowds are just kind of spotty there. East Carolina has a great following for all their sports, considering that they have not been elite in really any sport, but they do have a really good following. And then USF, with the emergence of kind of their basketball program this year, has started to gain a lot of traction on social media and in the entire fan base. So USF is definitely a riser and one to watch.
What a hell of a year for USF.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there we go.
I was waiting for it to go.
Yeah. Best things happened this weekend. UFC Fight Night was absolutely electric. We had some insane knockouts, from spinning back kicks onto the temple, to punches grazing the temple, to stiffening dudes, to Sean Strickland absolutely beating the crap out of Fluffy Hernandez. UFC Fight Night was unbelievable. The U.S. won gold. Are you kidding me? In both men's and women's hockey. Gotta put it up there. That made my weekend for sure. And then my brother was in town, so that made my weekend always fun to hang out with the producer. Yep. So, Luke, what were your best things that happened this weekend?
The Twitter. Now, there's a few things. Obviously, you have USA winning gold. So the Twitter memes about that, and like the SEC, like the Canada wouldn't survive a midweek, all that stuff is awesome. Then you had the whole Mexico thing. And like, I saw this thing about someone took a fighter jet and put a chicken bakes as its missile, and like Kirkland logos all over it, like it's a Costco fighter jet. And I thought that was pretty funny. And then there's a bunch of other just political crap that I thought was very entertaining this week. And then college baseball. I love baseball.
We put this dude on college baseball.
Yeah. I don't keep up with college baseball, but like I love to watch baseball. Like I watch like almost every game for the Cardinals. Like how Will is for the hockey, I am for baseball. And college baseball is awesome. I've seen multiple walk-offs. Tennessee lost to Kent State.
Electric.
Penn got walked off twice by A&M. I mean, it was an absolute electric weekend this weekend for college baseball. And then I started watching Daredevil Born Again. This show was awesome. I mean, the first episode was just shocking. I don't want to say anything, 'cause I don't know if Chase is going to end up watching this.
I haven't seen it. I need to watch it.
It's good. It's damn good. So those are my top 3 from the weekend.
I'm going to have to check that
Chase,
out.
what about you?
Got to start off with U.S. hockey. Obviously, the women getting the gold, winning the gold in pretty electric fashion, and the men following it up and winning it in the same kind of fashion. I mean, it was made me super patriotic. I'm really proud of what our Olympic teams did. I mean, it was kind of shocking that, a lot of like our favorites that were supposed to win gold medals didn't, but we had a lot of like surprising gold medals like Alyssa Liu and figure skating and just stuff like that. So overall, really fun Olympics. Gone too soon. It was a fun 2 weeks. That was awesome. I'm gonna miss turning on the
Me too.
Olympics and listening to Mike Tirico.
Mhm.
Um, and then I watched this really good movie Friday night called The Rip. It's Ben Affleck and
Yeah,
Matt Damon.
I've heard of
Absolutely
that.
outstanding movie. I mean, that plot twist was crazy. Super. If you guys like an action
What's
movie,
it on?
this is absolutely
Netflix.
it's a great movie. Great movie. I'll definitely check that out. And then today, Manchester United beat Everton. So anytime Manchester United gets a win, that's great for me. That's 5 wins out of 6 for Michael Carrick in charge, and Manchester United is looking to grab that third spot next week. So very exciting times if you are a Red Devil fan.
I am not, but that's okay. Exciting times if
Well,
you're
your
me
team's
as
about to
well,
get
though,
relegated,
because
but
Wickham only a couple points out of the playoff in League One, and Wrexham is threatening to be in the playoff in the championship. So my two clubs are performing well. That'll do it for episode 45 of Super Sports. Until Monday, when we no, today is Monday.
Wednesday.
Got my days messed up. Till Wednesday/Thursday, when we break down the action for this upcoming weekend. Have a good night.